Hi friends, my name is Gagan Singh and I am a leadership trainer and a communications coach. I work with corporations, universities and colleges towards imparting competency development to professionals and students to help them build a great corporate career. In the recent times, when I have been visiting corporations or colleges, I am usually asked a question. That is, how do we overcome the inhibition or certain amount of defensiveness that we have about group discussion? So here I am today launching a new series of video on a theme called BOGMOI, which is Boss of GD and Master of Interviews. In this series, I'll try to use my 23 years of corporate experience where I conducted millions of interviews and group discussions and try to impart you techniques and competency methodologies by which you can get a first-hand insight into what is it that the jury on the other side is expecting out of you. So let's start our first video on group discussion. Why is it that students or professionals fear group discussion so much? There are three main reasons. The first reason is that a lot of times there is a misconception that in group discussions you need to speak a lot. So students ask me, sir, forget about 20 minutes. We have really spoken at formal forum for 3-4 minutes. Second, there is a great worry that it's about defeating others, debating with others. So I am asked with questions like, sir, forget about debating with others. We rarely have altercations or issues where we are having very serious debate to win. My dear friends, I am here today to tell you 5 important myths which for one reason or others are prevalent, and I'll try to bust these 5 myths and give you 5 golden rules which if you follow, I can assure you this is a comprehensive toolkit to succeed at group discussions. Myth number 1 is that I need to have a bulk of communication of the time which is the GD is taking place. This is as far from true as possible. Let's take a GD which is 20 minutes. There are 10 participants. The first rule which I wish to give you, my friends, is 20 divided by 10. 2 minutes. 2 minutes plus alpha. Yes, you all need to be prepared to speak for, let's say, 2.5 to 3 minutes or so. And if your quality of contribution is powerful, there is no way that you wouldn't get the jury positive consideration from the perspective of your participation. So please remember this first golden rule, that in a group discussion, if it's 20 minutes with 10 participants, 20 divided by 10, your participation needs to be just 2 minutes plus alpha. Remember that. The second rule is about the length of intervention. So a lot of times students feel that they need to speak at stretch, speak for long durations. My friends, this is not an extempore, this is not a speech contest. So I must confess though that your length of speech at a given stretch is a double-edged sword. You speak too less and you are highly unlikely to impress the jury. Just saying, yes, I agree with this, no, I don't agree with this, is highly unlikely to earn you a positive mark. On the other hand, if your intervention is too long, you continue to speak for 40, 50, 60 seconds, there is a very high probability that you could be unceremoniously cut. So always remember that ideal intervention stretch could be anywhere from about 30 to 40 to 50 seconds. So if we add rule 1 on duration, rule 2 on proportion, the point that you need to remember is that in a 20 minutes group discussion, you need to speak for about 2.5 to 3 to 3.5, 4 minutes, and it requires 4 to 5 interventions, each of about 40 to 50 seconds. Now, let's go to myth number 3. Myth number 3 is about that need to defeat others. My friends, group discussion is not a debate. It's not a fight, it's not an altercation. The jury is expecting you to construct, to come up with creative ideas to reach a consensus. Therefore, you are not expected to be defeating others in your arguments. On the contrary, let's assume a situation where 2 students are competing with each other and the topic is, has the government done enough to revive the economy? and your view is against it. So you are talking and giving points against this. On the other hand, the other participant is talking in favor of it. It's a stalemate. Your focus is on economy, that economy is in the bad shape. The other person is talking about societal aspects. Suddenly, a third student comes and brings in a new creative dimension and says, friends, if we talk about the economy of our nation, we need to evaluate from the perspective of what global growth opportunities our government has brought in. So these global growth opportunities like FDI, overseas investment, export revival are usually long gestation projects. So I would encourage my group not only to look at the present situation, but look at the future value of the present initiatives of the governments. Yes, what did you do? You did not enter into an altercation or a debate, but you gave a new direction to the group. This is the principle of how you do creative and very constructive participation to reach to a conclusion. The fourth myth is that if you are proven wrong, then you are out. This is again farthest from the truth, because a jury which is evaluating you would always know that you will make some points which may not be correct. So long as these points are not very fatal, they are not very fundamental about values, even if you are correct, you may get rejected. On the other hand, if some of the points which you made were proven wrong, the jury is looking at your logic. So for that, the fourth golden rule is try to make your statements and interventions brief and point-wise. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Going back to the economy topic. Friends, I feel there are 3 reasons why government is doing great thing for economy. Number 1, so-so. Number 2, so-so. Keep your points based on logic and try to have your one intervention of about 30 to 40 to 50 seconds, because you don't want to be unceremoniously cut by others. And finally, the last rule is when you feel that it is necessary to be an initiator. Many students say that, sir, if we don't initiate, our chances of success, would they be very low? My answer is no. On the contrary, as I'll explain in some of my subsequent videos, where I'll talk in deep detail about 8 different roles that I encourage professionals and students to take in group discussion, initiator is a quite high risk strategy. Of course, I like to call it high risk, high return. But for this video, my message to you is, it doesn't matter if you are not the initiator, it doesn't matter if you are not the summarizer, so long as during the course of the group discussion you were a facilitator. So when 2 sides were confronting or debating on something, what role did you do to mediate? What new dimension did you give? And you were a healthy participant. So to summarize this entire video, I would like to remind you that the 5 golden rules which you need to follow is: number 1, the rule of proportions. In a 20 minutes GD, speak for about 3.5 minutes. No need to speak for 7-8 minutes. That's not the secret to success. Number 2, your duration of intervention should be very tactfully chosen in the context, about 30 to 40 to 50 seconds. Number 3, be a creator who makes the group reach to a conclusion by new creative contribution. Number 4, make sure that you give logic-based short points. 3 points, 2 points. Always remember logic-based short points. And finally, the 5th rule, it is not necessary to be an initiator. You could be a facilitator, but make sure that you are active during the entire group discussion, helping the group reach to a conclusion. That's when the jury will surely notice you. So friends, this was our first video on the 5 myths and the 5 golden rules to win at any group discussion. I assure you, you practice all of these and you will surely be successful at your endeavors. At the end, I wish to make a request to all of you that if you have liked the content, please press the like button, please press the subscribe button and the small bell icon, because from now on, every week we'll be releasing new videos on your art to clear your recruitment test. So this is Gagan Singh signing off for the day. May the power of winning it persona ever be with you. Thank you.